Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, we're going to talk about WWE, Tony Khan, Ariel, Helwani, the shots, the jabs, the complete and utter bollocks of it all.
I'm going to tell you about a major last-minute change of plans on last night's Raw.
Going to talk about some interesting plans for Finn Balor's demon character to return.
And John Cena has been advertised for an upcoming Monday Night Raw. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I can't believe we're about to talk about this rubbish.
And this is the news.
But it is the big story, I guess, at the moment. Tony Khan, Ariel, Helwani. Let's break it down a little bit, right? So this began on and around last week's episode of SmackDown. Helwani was on there, so Tony Khan tweeted him, calling him a fraud. Okay, that's where it started. Situation then escalated when Helwani responded to him on Twitter, saying, "Thanks for watching, old friend. Can't wait for our next chat. Also, don't listen to the snowman, Shivani. You're a legend in my books." Tony had said that Shivani is a better journalist or whatever, than Helwani. Khan then replied, "Good luck with the unbiased journalism." Now, Helwani, who has performed WWE media duties in the past, he interviewed Nick Khan, lest we forget, for BT Sport. He appeared on the Elimination Chamber kickoff show. Michael Cole, I like this as well, this is fun. He referenced the situation during the PLE proper, where he was ringside with George St. Pierre. I am not impressed with your performance. Love GSP. He introduced Helwani as the unbiased, world-renowned combat sports journalist.
Well played.
Who asks all the hard questions, whether you want to answer them or not. And then there was more jabs on last night's Raw. I think it was Corey Graves said WWE's full of unbiased journalists. Helwani, Ryan Satin, they're all there. Helwani actually spoke about the situation as well on the MMA Hour, which is his big show. That he does, saying that he'd like to do more work with WWE, and stating that he's not a wrestling journalist, throwing comparisons to Dave Meltzer in the bin. He said, "Why do you guys keep comparing me to this guy? Because I might be that guy in MMA? I've never been that guy in this sport. Just to be clear, that's it for me. I'm not a new employee. That's it. I'm done. I left. I said thank you. That's it. I have zero regrets, and I loved every second of it." But he is whatever open to. There was some other stuff. Like, he went on a little bit, as you'd understand. It's quite a interesting situation. Now, Helwani has obviously previously criticised Khan in the past because Khan was on the MMA Hour. I think it was in October, and Tony just gave him like the basic stock replies to everything, as he does in interviews. He's never going to be salacious or whatever. But Ariel called the situation bizarre. He said it caught fire in the WWE locker room as well. People were talking about it. Amongst the people who noticed was Michael Cole, and here's an interesting quote. "Michael Cole, freaking legend that he is, sees me before the show and goes, 'Just wait to see how I introduce you.'" He thinks he's going to say combat sports journalist or whatever, but then he dropped the line. There you are. Now, Dave Meltzer has talked about this a little bit on Wrestling Observer Radio. Calls WWE, apparently WWE's pretty nasty about Khan behind the scenes, but you'd expect that anyway because they're in a wrestling war. He called it insidious, saying WWE hasn't changed in 40 years of wrestling wars. No, of course it hasn't. And in his eyes, with company personnel seemingly celebrating the snowman comment, which, okay. Helwani, of course, he was Nick Khan's agent for a while. That should be pointed out. And he what was it? AW Freakazoids. He had that little rant after the October interview. I'll try and keep my thoughts on this brief because we're rabbiting. I'm rabbiting already.
It's a fascinating story, and I'm sure people don't need any more encouragement to go after it in the comments.
No, I think if you're generally I don't understand why people got upset about this over the weekend. It just seems like something that doesn't really. I think there are better uses for your energy than getting angry about a message board poster who happens to be a billionaire wrestling promoter tweeting something a bit nasty, and then Helwani jabbing back and all this stuff. I will say, right, I haven't followed MMA in a long time, but I like Helwani.
I love him,
in general.
He's great.
I used to always enjoy the way he stuck it to Dana White.
Yes.
He got banned from shows for a while as well, didn't he? For a brief period because he would hold people to account and stuff.
And break the Brock Lesnar story, which was awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So he's done a lot of good work in that space. Of course, I would never undermine that. And of course, he has the show. He creates content. He's had the MJF on, which caused a bit of a ruckus, of course, lest we forget. But I don't think you can sit here and go, well, I'm only a journalist in MMA, in wrestling. I am not that at all. I don't think you can pick and choose when you apply these standards and things. I think that's a little bit silly. But Yes.
Yeah, look, the only person you should get excited about replying to you on Twitter is the Laughing Cow, and I've already completed that. So,
Yeah.
look, I think, yeah, you can't really sit there. As much as I think this is something and nothing, and, you know, okay, maybe Ariel Helwani is just a fan, right, who just happens to also casually work occasionally.
You can't
for
pretend
WWE.
you're a journalist in the other space then.
Well, no. What I was going to say is, if that's the case, why are you using just a fan to introduce your entire video package about Sami Zayn and Canada and Montreal and all that? You can't have it both ways, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But, it'd be the crappiest fight I'd ever seen if these two get into it. So.
I mean, they could probably both beat us up.
Yeah,
actually,
absolutely.
this would be the crappiest fight you've ever seen.
I will never fight you.
Never ever. You could kill my landlord, and I would never. Why did I pick landlord there? I don't know.
Sacrificial lamb.
Strange.
Sacrificial landlord.
I will say, right, before we sign off, the snowman comment, that ain't it.
Yeah.
But, you know, hey, don't get worked up by this stuff. I'm aware we're 6 minutes in.
Comment section, go.
Yeah, go
There we go. So on last night's Monday Night Raw, we got the development that it will be Becky Lynch and Lita challenging Damage Control, or I should say specifically challenging Dakota Kai and Io Sky for their women's tag team titles. But according to Fightful Select, no surprise there, no crap, just sap, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, Trish Stratus was meant to be there. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks, so I've been like, okay, here comes Trish. Where's Trish?
Where's she at?
Well, she was meant to be involved in that. She was even backstage in Ottawa. No surprise there. It's Canada, after all.
Yeah, it's all the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Small.
Little
Just
tiny.
Pop over the road.
It's like San Marino.
But due to a, quote, creative change, that didn't happen, and things played out as I mentioned there. Bailey accepting on the tag team champions' behalf because she got riled up on Ding Dong Hello, but at least no one got kicked through a fucking door this time. Anyway, Worked Wrestling, who've been all over this from the beginning, tweeted, in case you couldn't tell, plans changed last minute tonight. Be patient, hang in there. Trish is still on the way. She will be working a storyline she's wanted to for quite some time. That's an intriguing tease.
Yeah.
But I do like the development of Becky Lynch and Lita having fought each other and beat the crap out of each other, and now like, should we take these tag titles off these arseholes before WrestleMania?
Yeah, I wonder if they're just changing direction maybe a little bit and doing this tag match, which is next week, before they maybe do the trios match at the pay-per-view. That's the most obvious thing that pops into my head. I think the trios match will be a lot of fun. I think the tag match will be a lot of fun next week as well. So, like, I like this feud. I know people like are a bit fatigued maybe with the Bailey-Becky stuff because it's been going on a while.
Yeah.
And there've been a few twists and turns along the way. But I'm into this, so...
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah,
and you
good.
can kind of see potentially how it plays out with Bailey and tag team championships on the line. Oh, interference up. A bit like last night's main event, basically. But sometimes predictable can be good at the same time.
Yeah, like a lot of the time, the right thing to do is the most obvious thing to do. So, yeah.
Like Sammy losing in Montreal.
Boom. Finn Balor's demon character set for WWE comeback.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to go down the demon hole a little bit here. So, remember, we've spoken about this in the past. Finn Balor and Edge were originally going to wrestle at Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. WrestlingNews.co reported on that. The match was eventually scrapped because Edge was doing some acting and stuff, so he did commitments elsewhere. He couldn't do the match. Interestingly, Fightful Select report that not only was it actually supposed to be Edge versus Finn Balor, it was supposed to be, or it was billed as, listed as, plotted out as Edge versus the Demon.
Ooh,
boom! There you go. Now, people Fightful have spoken to said that the Demon's character, they don't feel the Demon character fits the current presentation of the Judgment Day, so they were against it. But some people were actually of the belief that adding the gimmick to Edge versus Balor would have generated some extra buzz, or whatever. Yeah, I agree. Like, the Judgment Day are just kind of goths, like goth jocks.
Yeah.
They're not like spooky evil guys, they're total jocks.
Yeah.
So, like, the Demon would be an odd fit. I kind of agree with that. I wonder if now...
Well, she'd be scared every time he went onto the top rope.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, the last time we saw him here, he didn't do too well, brother. I wonder if maybe we'll get the Demon in the cell if they do that at Mania. I'd keep it simple.
Yeah. Look, I think Finn Balor's clearly having the best time right now, and Edge versus Finn Balor in Hell in a Cell is enough. You don't need to add any Demon stuff with it. I think it would just muddy the waters. I would be intrigued to see the Demon interact with ex-con Dom, of course.
Yes.
But that aside, no, I think, him coming in and costing him the US title match last night, spoilers, but I don't know why you're watching this if you've not watched Raw already. Come on, guys. I think it just makes complete sense. And what is he said? I'm going to keep kicking your ass, basically, or the worst is yet to come, or whatever it was he said as he finished off last night's show. Edge being like, I've had it with you. Bloody doing this. Let's have it out in Hell in a Cell because I'm really good in Hell in a Cell. We talked about this as much on the 10 New Directions video that was released yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, you should check that out if you want to hear some nonsense.
And the new direction for Austin Theory, surprise, surprise, is probably John Cena at WrestleMania, who has now been advertised for Monday Night Raw in Boston, TD Garden. On the 6th of March, a show that is being billed, according to my sources, as a wicked pisser.
What?
It's his first appearance on Raw since June 2022. Wicked pisser.
What?
Go Reds, go Sox. The Yankees suck.
Oh, okay.
Of course, he popped on SmackDown for his one and only match of 2022, tagging with Kevin Owens against Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. And now, he's going to be back on Monday Night Raw, presumably to set up a match at WrestleMania 39 with Austin Theory. Austin Theory slagged him off a little bit on a backstage promo last night, and then retained through shenanigans. Good stuff.
Yep.
Wicked pisser.
Open challenge.
Yes.
John Cena did that well. Austin Theory's doing it now. He's got the US title. Makes sense.
And speaking of...
What an analysis.
Well, speaking of open challenges, we move over to our Twitter questions at WhatCulture WWE. Of course, you want to get in touch with us. Mark Smith, who tweeted this to us yesterday. Mark said, "Morning, boys. So Cena beats Theory at WrestleMania, becomes US champion, goes to Raw after WrestleMania, does an open challenge, and loses the United States title to a debuting Jay White."
Be a
Thoughts?
good way to kick a man's run off in a good way, straight up. Shades of Kevin Owens immediately confronting John Cena, albeit with a title win this time. Yeah, I'm into it. I'm a big fan of just bringing someone in and going, boom, let's go, not messing around. Sometimes you want to mess around. It's different with everyone. But I think with Jay White, I'm really interested to see how WWE's crowds react to him. I wonder how much crossover, how many WWE live attendees are watching New Japan and know who Jay White, have a real feel for Jay White. I'm really curious as to his reaction. Obviously, when AJ Styles came in from New Japan, it was immediately boom, but also he had the TNA run and all that stuff. So, I'm interested in seeing how all of this goes. But you can take chances like that with the US title because while it does have a bit of credibility, it's not the be-all, end-all. No. So, it's a good call.
Yeah, and the Raw after WrestleMania is more of a hardcore crowd, so they're more likely to recognise Jay White, and then people presumably would hear that reaction and go, I should probably check this guy out. And I don't know, maybe if you don't know who a wrestler is, Google them. Just a thought.
That's the thing. I guarantee though, if Jay White turns up, you won't see people going, "Who is this? I have no idea who this is." They only do that with the other company for some reason.
Exactly.
Maybe they're a bit biased. I don't know.
Just asking questions. He's just asking questions.
Google exists. If you don't know a name, it's fine.
Yeah. Then again, of course, Andy, Jay White could be Tony Khan's big announcement on Dynamite this week. I just wish someone had done a video about 5 possibilities what it could be.
I think Wednesday. That's going out today. Actually, maybe I don't remember.
I heard him filming it yesterday. It's very good. Yeah, very excited.
Thank you. It's very okay. You should check it out.
It's very okay. A ringing endorsement.
Well, I mean, you want to temper expectations. You don't want people to go and going, "Oh, this is going to change my life," and then they're just like, "Oh, I had a good time."
Yeah,
but
I think they're all good possibilities and very exciting.
There are possibilities. Alan Pardew. What?
Hamid gives us our second question today. I'm intrigued by this question and your thoughts on it. Hamid writes, "What's the etiquette about using other wrestlers' finishers? After seeing Logan Paul using the buckshot, is that an unwritten rule that they would run it past another wrestler, or do they just do it regardless?"
I have literally no idea. No idea whatsoever. No. I would imagine that if it's in the same company, you would go, "Hey, I would like to use this move that you use a lot," and then the person can either say yes or no, and you can take it from there. I think as a general gracious thing, if it's someone you work with, you'd probably just go, "Hey, I'd like to do this. Can I?" And if the person
say, "Is it going to be kicked out of?"
Yeah, there you go. And if the person disagrees, you just go, "Okay, fair enough. You use this move more than I do. That's cool." I think you would generally do that. And maybe agents and producers would be like, "Hey, let's not cross paths here."
Yeah.
But I think if you're in a different company, who cares? Like Logan Paul only wrestles like 2 or 3 times a year. I can't imagine that he gave a single hoot.
Logan Paul strikes me that generally he doesn't really give a toss what you think about certain things.
Yeah, like NFT scams, wrestling, energy drinks. He doesn't care.
Prime is delicious, though. I will say that.
If you like dying young, it tastes delicious. Whereas that and the pitch black, it's gone.
It's all been drunk.
The pitch black Mountain Dew was, oh god. Shouts to Jeff, very kind to send us it, but not for me.
Cheers, Jeff Raymaker. I think occasionally you get homages to it, not just obviously like Eddie Guerrero, but like Montez Ford went to do I doubt he went, "Hello, Dwayne, can I use that?" I think that's probably all right. But I think if you're gonna hit someone with the end of days, I'd probably run it past Baron Corbin first, for example.
Yeah.
Especially if they're going to bloody kick out of it, because no one should have.
There you go. Or
Still annoyed by that. Drew didn't need that.
It was out of nowhere.
Didn't do anything. Like, he hadn't laid him out with it loads on the road to WrestleMania, and then he just did it.
It was a crap feud as well.
Yeah,
like,
rubbish.
what was the point of that? Why
so he could cut the ropes with the sword.
Yeah.
Stupid.
But
also, I think, if you're Logan Paul and you do a better buckshot, Larry, you might as well go for it. That'll be fun in the comments, won't it, Andy?
CM Punk had the best buckshot there.
Good point, yeah.
Actually, also have fun with that. The comment section.
Chad WC Michael saves us by sending us our final question of the day, saying, "I'd really like Adam Wilborn and Andy Murray's opinions here. Who do you think is the more influential Paul in WWE history? Paul Bearer, Paul Heyman, or Paul Levesque?"
Paul Roma, I think, is the best member of the Four Horsemen, of course. Wow. Okay, I like it. Who's the best Paul? Paul Bearer, I don't think so. Like, obviously, quite a memorable manager.
I don't like when his name gets brought up, because I was one of those. I think Simon Miller's had this same experience of me, who realised Paul Bearer, Undertaker, so late, just so late. What's it called? A crap eureka moment, I think.
Yeah, an anti-eureka moment. An Ulrika moment, I don't know.
Ulrika Johnson?
Yeah, shout outs to Ulrika Johnson. What's she up to these days?
I think she's going to tag with Trish at WrestleMania to take tag titles.
Fair play. Why not?
Sven-Goran Eriksson, special guest referee. You know.
Brother. Paul Heyman, yes, to a degree. It's Paul Levesque, isn't it? Like he's been an executive. Papa H. He's been an executive for ages. He's the head of creative now. He was a main eventer for a long time. Yeah, it's Triple H.
I love Paul Heyman. Especially love Paul Heyman in a comedy neck brace, although it wasn't comedy. But
Wobbly Walrus.
Yeah,
legend.
exactly. I think his legacy as an influence within the business cannot be understated. But yeah, Paul Levesque is running things in the biggest wrestling company in the world right now.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, doing quite a good job. So
Paul Levesque might be writing most of the best story for, which is quite interesting. I think it's an interesting conversation, but when you weigh them up against each other, what they've done in WWE, it's Paul Levesque. Part of that is being a sort of sideways Nepo baby at times, but he's doing great work at the moment. So.
It's so nice to hear him paying tribute to the Montreal Screwjob that he had no involvement in whatsoever, of course.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Just touching.
How are you doing that for Brett? You were fucking involved, dickhead. Anyway, let's move on to Days and finally, because I've been so excited to get in here and show you this. Have you been following the Great Khali on Instagram recently?
I have not,
well,
sir.
If not, get on it right now, because he shares things like this. This man, I don't know who he is, I do apologise, but his body is covered in Great Khali tattoos.
Oh my good gracious. Right. All right. I guess this guy really likes the Great Khali. 50% discount. Oh, no.
Well, you've gone on to the next bit of Squared Circle now.
You are.
Careful.
I'm going in a dark place. Wow, that's awesome. Okay, sure.
Which one's your favourite? What I'd want is, I want the nipple to be more incorporated in it, if I'm honest.
Put like an eyeball in the nipple or something.
Also,
like
show us your back. I want to see your back. What have you got on there? Is it him holding the world title after Jinder Mahal retained?
Jinder's in the bottom corner, like, give me back my belt. Like Scrappy Doo.
I'm scared. I was going to say, send us more wrestling tattoos. Don't. They're weird. I don't like them.
If you've seen like any crap ones, send us those. Like, Alan Belcher, the UFC fighter, has that really terrible Johnny Cash tattoo.
Yeah, look, I was about to compare it to like Elvis. I was going to say Elvis because I couldn't remember who he was meant to look like.
It just looks like a droopy Elvis, doesn't it? If you've seen or know of any really just awful, like bad faces in particular, send them our way.
Yeah, we'll have them as a a rolling thing on Friday.
Yeah, I'll get the slideshow out. Get that little clicker we used yesterday.
Right, let us know your thoughts on that and all of today's news stories, as if you need any encouragement with some of them, in the comment section below or on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE. Well, actually, you can follow both of us. You can follow Andy Murray
at Andy H. Murray. The H stands for Hoop27. I think that's the number. Fantastic Mr. Hoop.
Follow me on Twitter at Adam Wilborn. Follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. And make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. We'll be reviewing Monday Night Raw a little bit later on today. And then, of course, looking ahead to the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. A little bit later on. Stacked show tonight. But for now, my thanks to Andy Murray. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you soon.